Hello everyone, Randall Thor here with a supplemental video today. This is not about the weather, but I just wanted to record something on today, which is the 10th of April 2025, because today marks 100 years since a certain book was published. A certain book that kind of means a lot to me, especially back in high school, and that's F. Scott Fitzgerald's classic, The Great Gatsby. I remember, I don't know where this rumor came from, but back when I was in like 10th grade, there was this rumor going around about, what's so cool about The Great Gatsby is that Fitzgerald never once used the letter E in that book. I don't know where that came from, but some classmates were spreading that rumor, and even then I was saying, look at the title, the word great, the word the letter E is in there twice in the title. How can you, the letter E is the most commonly used letter in the English alphabet. How can you possibly do a whole novel without the letter E? I don't know if that was a common thing people said about The Great Gatsby back in the 90s, the late 90s, early 2000s. It would have been the early 2000s, 2001, 2002. Anyway, the one thing to remember about The Great Gatsby is that the green light represents hope. And that it's a pretty good novel. Pretty influential. F. Scott Fitzgerald, whose wife indirectly had a huge impact on, would you believe it, the video game industry. This is another reason why I want to mention The Great Gatsby, is because the author, F. Scott Fitzgerald, there are two connections. First of all, there was Jackson Browne had a song that shared a title with another Fitzgerald novel, Tender is the Night. But what I mean here, F. Scott Fitzgerald, his wife had an indirect effect on the video game industry? What do you mean? So, mid-80s, over in Japan, Shigeru Miyamoto and Takeshi Tezuka are working on The Legend of Zelda. They don't have a name for the princess yet. And somehow Miyamoto saw and learned about Fitzgerald's wife, who was named Zelda Fitzgerald. I'll just cut, since I'm running short on time, I'll just cut to the chase and say Zelda Fitzgerald inspired the name of Princess Zelda in The Legend of Zelda. That's why Miyamoto chose the name. So there's an indirect, tenuous connection between Fitzgerald to Shigeru Miyamoto and The Legend of Zelda that persists to this day, because the series is so successful, and just that today is the 100th anniversary of The Great Gatsby. If you haven't read the book, Old Ag, New Ag, or whatever they're called. Yeah, New Ag is the town, isn't it? The town of New Ag, where Gatsby stares off across the pier to the green light, which represents hope, everyone. That was drilled into me when we discussed that back in high school. That's what that represents. It became a meme before internet memes were a thing. But happy 100th anniversary to the Great Gatsby and its famous cover art. Goodbye.